Good evening, everybody. Back to normal, hooray! I only wish it was back to normal. I'm here live on Facebook again. It got a bit hectic last week because I was away and the signals weren't right and all the other things going on with eclipses and Mercury retrograde. I can't even say it, Mercury retrograde. So it's lovely to be back to my usual stuff, which is far easier technically. I was nearly in bits with the trying to upload the video when I did it on my machine instead of doing a live. So, good evening, welcome. It's the 24th of August and hooray, some of that really heavy energy of the last 3.5 weeks is finally shifting. August has always been about dedicating ourselves to being the best we possibly can be in any moment. That doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean being how others want us to be. It doesn't mean anything other than trying to bring to the surface all our good qualities, all our abilities, all of our skills. Hi Liz. So for me, it's quite a relief, I think, to get towards the end of August and think, oh, what a relief. Oh, hi Karen. So what you will notice definitely over the next couple of days is a bit of light, a bit of laughter. The energy upgrade or the installation of the new software's happened. And we've all been rebooted and we've all been through that, oh, why am I here? And it's so heavy and da-da-da stuff. But you can see I'm talking a mile a minute. I've got a pile of angels behind me and a load of guides standing round. Really excited because we're coming into a really lovely phase. We get a bit of peace and quiet, a little bit of calm, until the middle of September, when we'll get our final, middle of September and end of September, we'll get our final 2 blasts of energy. So this last week, you might have felt tired, exhausted. You might have felt, oh, I'm okay one day, and then the next day, oh, what's hit me? You could have felt headachy, stressy, running up against your fears, keep thinking I don't deserve this or I'm not good enough, and you're being asked to look at where you still don't have belief in yourself. If we want to achieve the best we can, if we want to manifest all that we deserve, all that we desire, hi Jill, what we have to do is we have to believe in the best of ourselves. And it's really interesting that I'm online today I'm a mum, and today my daughter went to pick up her GCSE results with a little bit of nervousness, maybe I didn't do well in that, maybe I did better in that, and lots of our young people will have collected results that they may have felt weren't the best they were hoping for. And we teach our young people very early in their life to start judging themselves, and maybe to start judging themselves feeling lacking in some way. At least this is the system in the UK, and it seems to be much the same the rest of the world, although I have no direct experience, so maybe you'll comment and let me know if that's the case. So it's important for us, the ones who I've gone through that to try to encourage young people to be that connection for them, not to write themselves off so young, not to look at it and go, oh, you know, disaster. And it was a shame today, because there were in my daughter's group some people who were feeling like they'd failed, when actually they haven't failed. They haven't even begun. When you get to my time, then maybe you can say, I failed. But they haven't even begun. And that's the big question. Have you begun? Have you begun to accept and to acknowledge just how wonderful you are and how much you can do? That's what this energy has been crashing in about. Come on, wake up. You're good. It's not a perfect world. It certainly isn't. But that doesn't mean that our imperfections are a bad thing. We have to find what we're good at and live up to that. Not worry about the things we can't do. It's like insisting that somebody keeps cooking when, hello Rosalind, that somebody keeps cooking when all they do is burn everything. You know, there's a point at which you say, this person's not got this particular ability. Let's find what they like doing instead of keep repeating the failure. Now, I believe that we have to have failure, because every prototype has to be tested. But what we look for in a prototype is what works. That's what's so silly about the way that we are. We look for what works, we look for what doesn't, and then we see what we can fix, but we keep what works. So please, over the next week, notice what works. What do you do that's great? What do you do that people love? Because people do love you. People do enjoy your abilities. And it's about noticing and being part of a community. Nobody does it on their own. And when we get used to that idea, then we'll start fixing the stuff that doesn't work. We'll start to see that we're not isolated. It's not just me, it's everybody. And maybe we'll start fixing a system that at the age of 16 categorises our kids, writes them off in a sense, whether or not those children have talent, and they all will have. Every single one of them will be good at something, and that's what we have to remember. So, big challenge. If you got caught in that categorizing, then what you have to do is you have to step out of it for yourself. I've seen your message, Rosaline. I'm channeling at the moment, so I can't pick it up, sweetheart. I'll message you afterwards, okay? When I'm in the flow, I can't stop. So we have to step out of our judgment about ourselves, and we have to start caring and loving ourselves. Hi, Annette. We have to really move this forward now. We have to help one another to understand that there are great things about us, that we are so talented in all sorts of ways that we don't even value. And really, the energy of the last few days has been about finding our own value. So you might have found that a bit of a challenge if you haven't ever sat down and said, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm really good at this, I'm passionate about that, I care about that. If you haven't done that exercise ever, then now is the time. Now is the time to use the positive surge of calming and peaceful energy that's coming in. I know that on a world level, there's a lot of fear still. There's a lot of what I would call saber rattling, you know. I'm bigger than you, and you know, don't push me because I'll push you. And there's a lot of fear surfacing. And I know that our guides and our inspirers want us to acknowledge the fear but not get hooked in it, to speak positively even about our fear, because fear is what helps us survive. It's a mechanism to make us do our best, yeah, but it's become switched on permanently. I'm coughing because somebody, just bear with me a second. I have with me sorry, she's just trying to speak. I have with me Kuan Yin, a very warm and nurturing energy being, and what she's radiating out is the love. Fear makes us sorrowful. When we're scared and frightened, we find the sorrows. The sorrows hit us from all sides. And yet we've got to step through that sorrow and scaredness and stuckness and recognise that every individual life matters when put together in a great whole, when we are truly a community. Then we value the talents and abilities of every single person. Then we love the quirkiness of each other, and we embrace the flaws and the failures of each other. We don't need to have tears of fear. There are enough tears of grief to go around, because when we really love, really truly deeply love, then when we lose who we love, the tears come. But she's offering to help us to understand the eternity of life, to understand the connections we have, not just to each other on the planet, but to all of the higher beings who want to help us. And you may have found yourself becoming more sensitive. Hi Fiona, sorry, I've just seen your message. You may have found yourself feeling more, being intuitively in tune, understanding more, even experiencing connection with energy beings. It's because it's time for us to recognise that when we feel each other's pain as if it's our own, we will change the world for the better. We will find the injustices that create pain and we will stop them. We will change them. We will stop giving out pain and receiving pain. And I know that's a big ask. I know that's somewhere along the line. But we've got all that loving help and that loving kindness to help us to do that. And I know that sometimes it goes above my head. I go, what? I don't understand. What's all this about? I'm just me living my life. Why does it matter? Why do I have to worry about everybody else? Or why do I have to bother with my talents? But it's because we connect as a community, and it's because what we can do is put more love into the system of energy that we live in. And we can remove some of the energy that isn't helpful, like the fear and the sorrow and the despair. Sometimes I feel powerless. I'm perfectly honest. Sometimes I just despair. Watching some of the things that are happening in the world, and I think, how can I make a difference? I have a lovely friend who is off to Palestine, and I'm not talking politically, but to work to support children for a little while. That's making a difference. And sometimes when I look at things like that, I think, and I have a lovely friend who has been and worked in some of the refugee camps around the various countries of the Mediterranean, and that's making a difference in people's lives. And sometimes I think, how can I make a difference? And I ask, what can we do to awaken to doing things better? And I am very struck by the love that pours in when I ask that question and those questions. And I'm very struck by how much we can be supported by doing our own little bit. So it's not to get heavy with this, but to encourage you to remember your abilities. Do create a more positive life. Do create a more positive set of energies that go out. So over the next couple of days, there's this loving energy that's making itself felt to energize you, to start you loving you and loving outwards. Okay. I feel when I get to Sunday that there is a time and a space on that day for everybody to sit and let that feeling of love come through. Let it just be immersed in that loving feeling. Somebody in the background singing that song, "You've Lost That Loving Feeling." I don't know who it's by, but it's an old 60s song, I think. And it's true, sometimes we don't love ourselves enough. So try on Sunday to give yourself that little blast of love. And on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, try to share a little bit of that love in your own unique way. Be it a smile, be it a thank you, be it a let me treat you to a coffee, be it you go before me in the queue, whatever way it is, send a little bit of that. Oh, right, thank you, Jill. Righteous Brothers. There you go, righteous. Sorry, sometimes they really make me laugh with what they pick. Because it's the right thing to do. If you feel the love for you, you feel that it's the right thing to give the love outward and to share with the world that positive vibe. I know that it's easy to get stuck, and I know that it's easy to be in a place where you can't feel that there's any lightness or any love coming your way. I know that is hard, but you have help. You have guides and inspirers. Everybody has. Everybody can tune into them. I'm on a bit of a mission to get everybody on the planet tuning in. God help me. God has helped me. Anybody help me? That's my mission. Not much. Do that before Sunday lunchtime. I will do my little bit for sure to try and encourage people. These loving beings are here and right next to us, right with us, and they want to reassure us that whatever the difficulties and challenges, underneath everything is always the flow of love. Plug yourself into that flow of love. Find the positive quotes. Find the positive people. Okay? Find the inspirations. It doesn't stop the feelings, and it doesn't have to stop the feelings, but it is about plug into the support you can get. We're going to have this calmness to around the 8th of September. It's a pause that you can use and plug in. You can let yourself recharge and refresh. If you look for the right energy, if you find the right, doesn't mean ignoring the stuff that's going on in the world either. But it means remembering the more you can love and be positive, the more that changes the energy. There's a lot of laughter around as well. And I do feel that you'll get that plug into the laughter. They just done something to me on this video that's got me going, ah! But it's made me laugh. Sometimes they're a bit naughty, I'll tell you that. But it's the vibration we need. Somebody's stroking my head now. Oh dear. I can hear somebody in the background saying, don't panic, stay calm. Oh, I've got tears, but the tears of laughter. Oh dear. Well, if you've watched my videos for a while, you'll know that what comes in sometimes is just total madness. And it's all about loving who you are, laughing and joining in that higher vibration. I know that there's channeling a lot of energy through. That will come through whenever you watch the video. It isn't about just while I'm live. And I really do appreciate everybody who manages to watch it live. I also appreciate everybody who manages to watch it later on. It's important to give that laughter, pass it on. If you've been chuckling with me, pass it on. If you think I'm completely lost the plot, I probably have. I don't care. See, they've told me it's going to be calm, so I don't care anymore about the stress and strain. Hiya, Sarah. It's about sharing in those random, total, positive moments. Just getting it out there and just letting yourself really enjoy what you're doing. I love that I can share the laughter and the healing energy and the loving energy that comes in. I hope you get a blast of it. I hope you can be energized and be a little battery of loving energy outward and share that real shift of perspective that we need to take in order to change the world in good ways. I feel that whatever is happening in your life, as much as you can, rise above it. You won't break, you might bend, you might even sort of have to sit down for a few minutes, but you won't break. You can be in charge of your own life. You just have to recognise that you can. You can be in charge of your own thoughts and feelings. You just have to recognise that you can. And you can love yourself, warts and all. You just have to recognise that you can. So, share the love of the angels. They're very present today. Share the love of your guides. Send that vibe out as much as you possibly can. I know all of you have the ability to do that, the ability to share the positive. Even when you're not feeling it, get giggling. Have a disaster, and like me, have a good laugh. Okay? I averted a disaster in this video just momentarily. So have a good laugh. Thank you for those people who subscribed to the newsletter. This month's went out on Monday, and I hope that you find the guidance in it useful to help you through the month. I do a daily blog if you can stand tuning in to me every day. My blog is at www.annieconboy.net, and have a peaceful, have a happy, have a loving week, and I'll be back next Thursday. I always feel a bit weird saying I'll be back. Here comes the Terminator. Oh, why I'm thinking of the Terminator. Anyway, I know why I'm thinking of the Terminator, because my challenge next week is I'm going back to where I couldn't get a signal last week. That will be interesting. Take care, everybody, and thank you very much for joining me. Bye.